Let's bring in someone from the Congressional Committee, Tennessee Representative, straight shooter, Tim Burchett. It's good to see you, sir.
Hey, brother. I look forward to watching that thing on your daddy and Tony Bennett. That's really cool. When we get off here, I'm going to rush in there and turn it on.
Bittersweet. I know how much your father means to you in shaping what kind of man you're always trying to be. And certainly that was the case for me and my family. So I'm happy to share that even under these circumstances. Let me ask you, Congressman, what do you think? Can you still hear me, Congressman?
I can hear you. We're good. Yep.
Oh, good. So what do you think of this speculation that some of your witnesses are getting spooked?
That's true. We had one tell us that I believe the Pentagon had made some inquiries and they were backing out. NASA backed out on us. But we do have three strong witnesses, decorated veterans, pilots, and these are firsthand accounts. This isn't somebody who's, well, my third cousin saw this fly over the trailer park. This is real. And there's the pictures of them right there. And so I'm anxious to get them before the committee sworn in and answering some serious questions.
Now, listen, I know that you're not looking to waste your time there and you don't want to be in Congress for the rest of your life. And I respect that pursuit and that lack of ambition, frankly. However, the reason we need you is because NASA can tell me it's going to take a pass, but they shouldn't be able to tell you they're going to take a pass. And if the Pentagon wants to talk to one of your witnesses and that has a chilling effect, can't you insist by subpoena that they come in and explain why? And why aren't you doing that?
Yes, sir, we can. I just don't have the time to fool with all that nonsense right now. I've got three dynamite witnesses that they have impeccable credentials, and I want to get them before the committee. And they're patriotic Americans, and I'm tired of the nonsense. You know, we were denied, the committee almost, we had problems with getting people in, the room, just you name it. Everything, they've thrown roadblocks. If this was in the Baptist church, we'd say the devil didn't want us in there. And they just keep throwing up roadblocks. Yet we're going to have a full committee. I mean, we're going to have a committee, and it's going to be a bipartisan thing. It's going to be dynamite. And thank you so much for helping us get the word out on this thing, because it needs to be heard. We have pilots tell me. I've had pilots tell me now, they destroyed this evidence on the visual because of the interrogations they'll receive from their superiors, and they're supposed to be whistleblower protection. This is bogus. This is the freaking United States of America, dadgummit. And people need to be able to.
That's why I want to see you. I want to see the shame campaign, Congressman. And look, I get it. I understand the process, and something's better than nothing. But I really do believe that ultimately, two things. One, this resistance only fuels the speculation. So, to the extent that NASA or the Pentagon or anybody wants things to be legitimate, they're forcing illegitimate narratives by what seems to be unreasonable resistance. So I hope that even if you do get these guys in here on the record, some of it people will have heard before, maybe something gets added to it, good. But at some point, for you to kind of get those bona fides, get those chops with the American people and your constituency and beyond, Congressman, don't you have to really drop the hammer on power and make them account to the American people?
Yes, sir. And that's why NASA's taken a step back. We had a secure briefing down in Florida, and we were basically turned away at that briefing. And the Pentagon's doing a little backtrack right now on that. So it's just, Washington moves like a glacier, brother, and it's ridiculous. So I'm going to keep.
What is that like, Tim? Like you say, hey, Congressman, you say, listen, man, I need to know what these things are that are flying around. And you must know because you talk to the people who say they saw it. So you must know something. What do they say to you?
I do.
No, you don't want to know, or it's too dangerous. Like, what do they say?
Well, we went down to Florida. The general basically he briefed us on some very top secret stuff that was important, and there was some dangers to our country, but it wasn't anything to do with the UFOs. We were told we were going to see pictures. We were going to talk to pilots. And we were turned away, basically, on that. Matt Gaetz and myself and Representative Luna went back, called Washington, called the Pentagon. The Pentagon got involved. They backed out. the general sent us a nice fruit tray up to his office where we were sequestered. And then they escorted us back in. We finally got to talk to the pilots, but there weren't any pictures. But they did draw some, and we saw some things that were very top secret. But it was obviously it was craft that were not of this world. It was any of our enemies or our allies had any knowledge of whatsoever. So this thing, and it's just the roadblocks they thought. And you're correct in your assumption. You mentioned the Kennedy assassination, for goodness sakes. That happened almost 60 years ago. No one's alive in that report. Every president, Reagan, Carter, Bush, Clinton, Obama, Trump, and now President Biden, they all said we're going to release the files. Then what happens? They don't release the dadgum files.
Oh, you know what happens. These guys come to them early in the administration who may respect and, frankly, probably fear a little bit because they haven't gotten their legs under them yet, and say, listen, brother, this is not what it seems like. It's going to embarrass us. It's going to put things out there that you won't be able to put back in, and it's not going to do anybody any good, and it's going to do you a world of hurt. And do you want that? And they're all like, they look at their guys, and they're like, we got enough problems. I'm not going to die on this hill. And that's what keeps happening. But all it does is fuel distrust.
And distrust in our government, and it's both parties, brother. I know your political background, and you know my political background. But the truth of the matter is, our folks, or your dad and my dad, would have argued like cats and dogs, and they would have gone home at the end. Your dad would have been broke down on the side of the road. My daddy would have been the first one to fix it. They would have been friends at Christmas. They would exchange phone calls. Today, they have this separation with us, and they enjoy that because that keeps these jokers in power, and it's the ones behind the curtain. And it's, you can talk about the swamp or whoever. It's not like everybody thinks it's like on The Simpsons, the great political cartoons where they show all the people, Krusty the Clown and the doctor and all these other folks that sort of run the town in this little secret meeting. It's not like that. But you have people that have incredible power, and this arrogance that is exhibited by the Pentagon is beyond belief to me, Chris, and it's disgusting. And I'm just going to keep busting their ass until they come forth with this stuff. And I'll tell you what, if they'd have told me we weren't going to have a hearing, my wife and I were talking, we'd have one right here in East Knox County, out here on our farm. They would have grilled hamburgers and hot dogs, and we'd have brought the satellite trucks in and let them do it in our front yard, because we're going to start having field hearings when this is all over with, and we're going to start getting some more answers. We've had so many people come forward with information right now that we've got to step back. I mean, this is worldwide. I can't tell you how many inquiries I've had, thanks to you and others, for keeping this out in the forefront. And just, you and I both know I'm not going to bring in a flying saucer or a little green man, but I want to get some answers. I want to know why they're hiding it and what they're hiding.
That's right.
And these men are going to be able to help
just like the Kennedy assassination, just like the dossier, maybe it's NASA, maybe it's the Pentagon, maybe it's the DOJ. But if you're doing the people's business, eventually you have to tell them why you're doing or not doing what you're doing. And you can't keep things in mystery when it creates doubt and dissent. And they may benefit from it by keeping us apart, 100%. But it's a mistake. I'll tell you this. I can't speak for Perry, Sean, or Mike, the bosses on the food chain here at Nexstar and News Nation. But my sense is this. If you're going to have field hearings that go to giving the American people more than they're getting right now, you're going to have a News Nation presence there making sure that you get the platform of this organization to project those hearings. And I'll clear it with the bosses, but I feel safe saying it right now. I'm a phone call away from you, Congressman, if you need help getting the message out.
You got it, brother. And I'm still going to hold you up on when I come to New York City. You got to give me a tour. I really would like to see what the heck that's all about. You got it. Thanks, brother.
Done. You come up, you bring the family, you stay with us.
Thank you, and thank you for the personal note on about your dad, and that's going to be cool. I look forward to seeing that.
All right, Congressman, be well, and good luck doing the work of the people.
Thank you, brother. God bless you.
All right.